Okay, so it's day 4 of messing with the Porsche. I'll show you what I did. I did some off-camera stuff, just kind of tinkering with it. Okay, so what we ended up doing was I reinstalled the starter. I hooked up the starter straight to a switch. So I can show you all that in just a second, but pretty much runs from the battery to the starter, and then from where the ignition's supposed to go, just do a switch. And then if I move this out of the way, you can kind of see it, kind of. Switch is right here for now, just for while we're working, but the battery's not plugged in. We're going to test it. That's what we have so far. So we wired a switch to the starter, if I could do it manually. It's these 2 wires, they go all the way down to the starter. They just basically go through a switch, and so they run from over here around all the way to that side. They run all the way over here, and then I just push the 2 wires through the firewall, and then I brought the 2 wires through the firewall back there, brought them all the way to the right over here, up through the center console and into the switch right there. The second thing we did was I looked at this and I did some research about how this works. Pretty much there's a plunger in here that goes up and down, and I held it up, and whenever it goes up, it pushes another plunger in here up and down, which this is pretty much like the fuel distributor. I don't know what the actual term for it is, but it basically allows gas to flow to the fuel injectors. So what I did was I primed it and just kind of stuck something in there and held it up. I turned the car over and it ended up starting for just a little bit, not for a long time. So they gave me a little bit of hope. Put this back on. Now before it wasn't put on properly, it looks like there were some gaps, and this thing relies on suction to be able for that flap to move. So the compression of the engine actually controls the flap over here. We had to take off the air intake to get to all this, though. We went through and checked all the fuel lines. We had to buy a new battery because the old one didn't have enough cold cranking amps, or just amps in general. Because it didn't have enough amps, the exterior, because there's two fuel pumps. There's one in the gas tank and there's one on the outside. And the outside one is the high flow, and it sits right here, right behind this. And then that's what gets the fuel to the front of the car. But it wasn't working because it didn't have enough amps or power getting to it. So we went and got a new battery, and it works now. We're getting fuel all the way to the front. So I'm currently in the process of putting the exhaust back on, and then we can crank her over and take her for a little test drive, maybe. All right, we're gonna hop under here, kind of hope, pray I can get this exhaust back on easily. We need to get this right there. Perfect. So we gotta lift this up. Oh, we have to put on the gasket first, which goes, which way do you go? Can't get that on. Okay, so I got that up there. Now I'm gonna slide at least 1 or 2 nuts on. And hold on, almost there. Got 1 nut on this side. I don't know if I can reach any of those. Okay. These things are so rusty. Okay, it's just kind of laying there. Hopefully it doesn't fall on me. That would suck. Just got so much crap in my eye.
We didn't follow me, that would suck.
This is fun. I'm having so much fun. Fun. So much fun. Okay, so now we're gonna hop in here. I've got to cut off these zip ties that held this up while we were working on it. Back together. Perfect. All right. So now we have the two-way fan. Now lift that up. Good enough. All right, so we got the exhaust back on. We got the hood down. Everything should be good. I'm gonna turn the key and see if she starts. All right, it's fine.
Oh. We know it by now.
Okay.
I didn't like that noise.
I think you had it in gear.
Yeah. Why?
The car's gonna fall and it's gonna pop. Yes. Oh.
Down there. I'm an expert. I'm an expert at I'm an expert mechanic. A master mechanic. It's all over the floor. It's all over the floor.
I'm an expert mechanic.
Oh, I figured it out. That sounded way better.
So that's it. We got running. Starter hooked up to a switch, new battery, fuel system's working. So I think next we're gonna have to tackle electronics and relays and fuses because the lights don't work, and blinkers, washer fluid, stuff like that doesn't really work. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Artlist.io.